Good afternoon. Wow, what a great day so far. Independent Bank is proud to be the premier sponsor of the CEO Summit because we care about helping businesses succeed, whether they are small, medium, or large. Learning from each other through conversations like the ones we are having today are still critical in this fast-paced, technology-fueled world, and that is the approach we take with our clients. For 150 years, we have worked hard to earn the business, the trust of those across Michigan. Our customers have been our focus since the day we opened our doors, and are doing whatever it takes to meet their needs has always been our top priority. Independent Bank, with $4 billion in assets, is the third largest bank headquartered in Michigan, right here in Grand Rapids. We operate a branch network of 60 locations, including 15 in West Michigan. Independent Bank provides a full range of financial services, including retail banking, mortgage banking, investments, insurance, and our largest line of business, commercial banking. Every bank will tell you they're different, but at Independent Bank, we know that you are. We help you discover what financial independence means to you and to your business. Then we help you get there and be independent. The pandemic has reinforced to all of us how important our frontline workers are. I am now pleased to introduce a couple of video messages. One from Dr. Peter Hahn, President and CEO of Metro Health University of Michigan, and one from our Kent County Sheriff, Michelle LaJoyce Young, and Grand Rapids Police Chief, Eric Payne.
The thing that I learned most primarily this year is you really never know what's in front of you, and you have to be prepared. You have to have that good foundation built so that you can react to things that happen and do it in a way that isn't too fragmented.
Having an initial plan on how to respond to things is crucial to what we do.
You know, I think the thing that I say to my staff and that I really always try to focus on is listening with an ear to hear what's being said, hear where it's coming from and the context behind it, instead of an ear to defend. I don't think we're going to learn anything if we're not truly listening to each other.
I think we need to have those tough conversations to move forward. And they are difficult conversations, but it's necessary. As part of our strategic plan, one of the largest portions of it is the engagement section. We have to be engaged with the community. We hear you, and we want to be able to continue to hear people and have that engagement. I rely heavily on my team. I try not to micromanage them. Now when the decision has to be made and when things are final, I'm able to do that. But allowing the team to work through their processes that we have set up, I think is vital.
First and foremost, we want to make sure that they have the information that they need to do their jobs. They understand the context that they're working on. They have a solid foundation of training and understanding of what we need for them to do in the community and how to best do that. And sometimes that's more training than what we would have had in the past. You could not pay me enough to drive one of those through these city streets.
There will be community officers that will be part of the business, and having that conversation with those community officers and myself. Again, I really believe it's about transparency, being able to have those tough conversations, and again, working together.
Understanding what the business community needs from us as a department is how we can best meet the needs of the business community, and helping us to understand ahead of time. Everybody can retrospectively look and say, I wish you would have done this differently, or wish you would do that differently, but helping to add to that body of knowledge we have as we're presenting ourselves to a problem and we're trying to work through it. And then understanding that in a lot of the things that we deal with, there is no perfect resolution, but working together we can come to the best resolution. I'm hopeful about where our community can go, and we've already got a great community. We've heard a lot about those parts of our community that aren't hitting the exact need that we have, but we also hear a lot about the parts of our community that are working extremely well. And I'm 100% confident that we can leverage those things to help lift up everybody, move forward, and have some great outcomes for everybody involved.
Grand Rapids is a resilient area, West Michigan. I believe that we'll come back stronger than where we were before, even with the challenges that we face. So I'm hopeful to having a stronger relationship with the community, having a trusting relationship with the community, and providing a safe atmosphere for everyone to be able to come and visit the city of Grand Rapids and enjoy the exceptional things that are going on here.
The fall is upon us, cooler air has moved in, schools have started, whether in class or virtual, and the Lions continue to struggle. In so many ways, it feels like a typical Michigan fall. So it's hard to believe that it's been only 6 months since the first COVID-19 cases were confirmed in Michigan. And let's face it, the end of March and April were dark days for all of us, hearing about what was happening in New York and as close as Detroit. Although many of us intuitively knew West Michigan would have a very different experience, regardless, we had to be prepared for the worst case, and we were. Obviously, much has changed in that time, and all of us can describe the many ways our lives have been altered and changed. As a community, we can take pride in how we collectively stood up to the challenge of COVID-19. This required innovation, sacrifice, hard work, and above all, dedication to the patients and community we all serve. At Metro, we work closely with our sister healthcare organizations to plan for contingencies and to share best practices around PPE, testing, and pandemic modeling. Other leading West Michigan companies, both large and small, also generously stepped in to provide innovative options and products, including hand sterilizers, masks, and face shields, to protect frontline workers and vulnerable members of our West Michigan family. Just as we've never seen anything like COVID-19 before, we've also never seen such levels of innovation, cooperation, and determination throughout industries here in West Michigan. Metro, as an organization, focused relentlessly in supporting our own employees through innovative COVID relief funding, flexible work hours, and free childcare. Although the warm summer months and outside activities have produced a much needed and deserved respite during the pandemic, the challenge of COVID remains and will continue with us for some time, so we must remain vigilant and ready. And despite the new challenges fall and winter will certainly bring, we should have every confidence that we as a community will again meet these challenges head on, just as we did in April and May. Fortunately, there is good news coming from New Zealand and Australia, who are in the midst of their winter season. Influenza rates there are at record lows, largely felt due to taking precautions such as mask wearing and social distancing. And in terms of COVID itself, we are all in a much better place in terms of what we know about treating patients with COVID. It is encouraging that our finest medical minds are every day finding better ways to treat COVID, whether it's through known treatments like dexamethasone or convalescent plasma, or newer research focusing on the innate immune response and interferon-based therapies. We at Metro Health have been early adopters of many of these treatment strategies for our patients. We are also all anticipating that one or several vaccines will be ready in the near-term future, offering hope for a very different spring. Through all of this, we must not forget our frontline heroes in West Michigan, whether they be nurses, physicians, and allied health staff taking care of our patients, or essential workers in grocery stores and factories taking care of our community. These heroes are on the front line every day, risking their lives, and deserve our gratitude. COVID has also put a spotlight and brought to the forefront long-standing issues like racial inequality, health disparities, loneliness, and addiction that we as a community and in each of our companies must address. In terms of healthcare, COVID has been an accelerant and will have long-lasting and profound effects. Much of the talk in the last few years has centered around outside disruptors like Amazon or Google coming in to disrupt healthcare. While we welcome that needed disruption, it's also important to remember that when faced with the challenges of COVID, that it was our nurses, our physicians, and our healthcare delivery systems that stood up to take care of our patients and our communities. I'm confident that this experience will reignite true innovation that can only truly come from within. The challenge remains, but I believe we have already learned that we as a community are stronger, more courageous, and more caring than we ever knew. Most generations have a challenge that defines their moment in history. This is ours. Our legacy will be how we stood together, resolved to bring this crisis to its inevitable end, and opening the door to an even brighter future.